Greenport for June 11th, 2015. We'll start with the legislative flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, notice a special town board meeting, Town of Greenport. There will be a special town board meeting at the Greenport Town Hall, 600 Town Hall Drive, Hudson, New York, at 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 11, 2015. The meeting is for the purpose of making a decision on whether to grant a hardship exemption relative to the moratorium on Joslen Boulevard for mental health's proposed project. By order of the Town Board, Sharon Zemko, Town Clerk, Town of Greenport.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we, after the last 45, maybe 47 days, somewhere around in there, we've been discussing this, off and on, we've been discussing whether or not to grant this hardship waiver to the Mental Health Association. And the moratorium went into effect March 2015 for a period of 9 months. And I have to tell you, it's been difficult. It hasn't been an easy decision. So the value, basically, of this, of lifting this hardship application from the Mental Health Association was a couple of things that still have to happen if we do vote to lift it. One would be it has to go back to the Planning Board for the continuation of the process as it goes forward, and then of course the Planning Board would have to then set a public hearing, which at that time the public will have the opportunity to voice their concerns, and that's about what I have to say. I think, Ray, you have some things, and Jason, you have some things you want to say too, right?
Yeah, just remind the board and the members of the public that we did receive 2 letters from, at the hardship hearing, one from the Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance dated April 20, 2015, and the second one dated April 23, 2015 from the New York State Office of Mental Health. I'm not going to read the letters because they're long, but I can say that both letters involve funding that would be provided to this housing project if it were to go forward. And both of them state in so many words that if the project is substantially delayed, that it could jeopardize what otherwise would be substantial governmental funding that could go to the project. In terms of timing, just to put everything, I'm not giving an opinion, I'm just saying essentially a fact. Moratorium went into effect in March this year. This project had been before the Planning Board for approximately a year before the moratorium. Now, there were delays on the parts of the applicant, no question about it. They had to do some redesigning, but they did that and the thing went on. They obviously did substantial engineering work, but the fact is there was already a year at this with the Planning Board. Then we have the moratorium that was, I think, primarily motivated by the fact that there were other projects that were also now in the works for Joslen. If the moratorium is continued for this Mental Health Association project, that means that there can be no activity in furtherance of this application until approximately December of this year. The moratorium went into effect in March. It's 9 months. March is the 3rd month, December, 9 months later is December. So it would be December at the very earliest before this project could even go back to the planning board, which would have to schedule a public hearing and hold a public hearing and then make its decision. So I just want to put that in a time frame perspective, that if we're subject to the moratorium, it would be basically that amount of time, and you have to make the decision in light of the letters that were presented by the applicant concerning this grant money, whether it could adversely affect the project. It's not a value judgment whether this is a good project or a bad project. It's a matter of would this applicant suffer, or could the applicant suffer a significant economic hardship because of the delay that the moratorium by its language creates. So I just wanted to point that out. I think Ray, I don't know if you have anything more.
Yeah, I would just to expand upon that item as well, the schedule, but then also procedural. Again, the item before the town board today is regarding the exemption as it pertains to the moratorium. As the town attorney has indicated, depending upon even if the moratorium were to stay in place and the project would move forward, it would not go back before the planning board until December. Now, the planning board ultimately makes the decision as far as the approval of the site plan itself. And they still have to move through that process. Yes, they've been before the planning board for a substantial amount of time, but the planning board still has a lot of work to do as well. Again, public hearings still need to be set as far as that's concerned. The planning board still has to review documents as far as that goes, and then the planning board ultimately makes a decision to either deny, approve, or approve with conditions the actual site plan. Once the applicant goes through that process, many times they haven't even started on the design work of the building, okay, as far as the architectural. That could be another 9 months just in and of itself. So if they waited until that December time frame, getting back before planning board, they possibly could miss the entire 2016 season, which plays into the letters, the correspondence that were provided by the state, indicating the potential for a loss in funding, as far as I could. But I just want to make sure the town board understands that, regardless of its decision regarding the moratorium, the exemption, the planning board, at some point, even if the moratorium stays in place, or if in this case the exemption is granted, the application still has to go back to the planning board for them to continue their review.
And the other thing too is that if lifting the hardship waiver would allow them to continue with their whatever funding that they're indicating,
Right.
and wherever they build this building, whether it be up on Joslen or some other location. But in no way are we allowing for any changes in the 9-month moratorium.
This is specific to this particular project, based on the information that they submitted to the town.
Okay, I'll open up a very short public comment period, but we're really not going to be answering any questions. We're just going to take into consideration anything the public may have to say at this point. I think we've explained pretty well what we wanted to say here. Anyone?
The purpose of the moratorium, as I understand it, is in order to do a very detailed study of the traffic and conditions along Joslen and that area. That study may come up with some recommendations and some mitigation for the conditions that exist, and, for the conditions that might in the future exist because of this project and other projects. I think at the very least, then if you approve the project to go forward, there should be some condition that if there is indeed changes, mitigation, improvements necessary, they should be, they should agree to participate to the extent that, their portion of the project may, incur these additional costs. In other words, it shouldn't be the town that has to pick up the cost for all these new projects.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Matthew Griesmer from Freeman Howard for the applicant. And I do understand that concern, and as part of that, I think one of the things that mental health has offered to try to remediate some of your concerns is, as a condition of the site plan approval, mental health has agreed to pay $50,000 impact fee to the town of Greenport in connection with the project. This impact fee would be after the application for the building permit and as a condition to the issuance of the building permit for the project, and in hopes of addressing any concerns that may arise as a result of the state impact statement.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, then we're gonna take this to a vote. So I need a motion.
I'll make a motion that the hardship is granted to the mental health.
I second on that.
Before I make my second, I just wanted to say a few words.
Sure, go ahead.
I want to take on everybody's concerns, your concerns, the letters we received about the road conditions. Joslen Boulevard is exactly what it is, it's a boulevard. And when we were in the first track area, maybe 5, 6 years ago, we took on that project to put stop signs on every intersection. Made a big, big difference. We can do the same thing with Joslen Boulevard. We're committed to slow this traffic down, to do the right thing, and to make it a nice living over there. We're not taking this lightly at all. You know, and we're behind it, 100%. And we want to do the right thing. And we know Joslen Boulevard is a rough road, and we know what areas of what we need to do. And we're going to go forward and do this.
The last comment I have, in addition to what Mr. Mortifolio just said, was the fact that there is still a process. The 9-month moratorium is still in place, and it still has to go before the planning board, and I'll just reiterate that, as well as public hearing.
Okay.
Wait, there's a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I don't know, I think you guys...
Yeah, I think we have to vote, and we'll talk to you after the meeting, okay? All right, so we got a second. You second it? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so roll call vote.
Supervisor Parika,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Mortifolio.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion moves to lift the hardship waiver for the Mental Health Association. Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Yes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Remember that most of your